We're going to move on now to Rosa Borg. And first of all, and she's going to be talking about Spinster. And then after her presentation, we're going to have a chat between Rosa, MK Fain, and Dee from the USA. So the focus of this is going to be on Spinster, why it matters, what WDI's been doing in relation to Spinster, and what we're hoping to achieve. And so thank you so much, Rosa, for coming on to talk to us and introduce this topic. Rosa is Maltese. She's a radical feminist and activist. Among other tasks, she has been managing WDI's Spinster account since last summer. So thank you so much for coming and talking to us, Rosa, and over to you.
My pleasure. I'm going to focus on why Spinster is unique and why using a woman-centering space matters and makes a difference. As the saying goes, there is no feminism without an unassailable definition of woman. We cannot defend what we cannot deny, and I would also ask, how can we define what we aren't allowed to name? As a social media site, Spinster is unique because it was created by a woman and her partner, MK Fain, because the moderators are women, because over 90% of the users on Spinster are women, and while men are welcome, disrespecting women isn't. In fact, woman-hating practices such as porn are banned, are not allowed, and most importantly, we are free to use clear and accurate language. So unlike what has happened on other sites, women will not be banned for example, saying that only women have a cervix or that men cannot become women. In fact, this ties with Article 4 of the Declaration on Women's Sex-Based Rights, which states that women have the right to hold opinions without interference, and this should include the right to hold and express opinions about gender identity without being subject to harassment, prosecution, or punishment. So it's right in line with our aims. What kinds of things do we share on our account? You can find invitations and video clips from our webinars, including those webinars organized in different languages from our different country contexts and their teams. The newsletter links shared in the chat during Feminist Question Time, and other statements issued by WDI or campaigns that we're working on. We also share informative articles, videos, podcasts, and information from individuals or organizations in the fight to safeguard women's rights. It's another point of contact where women can reach us. We've had women reaching out to us and drawing our attention, for example, to bills which are going to be discussed and which we should be aware of, or asking questions about signing the declaration. And it's really good to be able to do it in such a woman-friendly space. These are a screenshot just to give you an idea of the kind of posts that we share. There's the invitation to Feminist Question Time, that's from a German webinar. There's a statement from our sisters in Mexico who were harassed for organizing a feminist forum. They were harassed by MRAs. We also, as I said, share posts from other individuals or organizations, and the aim of sharing these posts is twofold. It's both to give these women more reach and amplify their voices, but also to explain in practical terms what the declaration means and how it can be used in practice. For example, what does Article 8, which deals with violence against women, how can that be applied to the woman being prostituted in Hallback? Or how does Article 3, which deals with physical and reproductive integrity, what does that mean in terms of surrogacy and wombs for rent? Spinster is both a place where women can discuss serious issues. You know, we've had, for example, threads about abuse or harassment or problems with relationships, but it also has a more lighthearted side. These are posts by other users who are highlighting how ridiculous at times gender ideology can be. And it's liberating to be able to say, look, the emperor has no clothes, and to be able to do that without having repercussions for it. It's also a place for women to just be, you know, and to be there largely without being in the male gaze, because like I said, it's mostly women who use Spinster. And we discuss our interests like hobbies, films, pets, music, women's music. For example, one of my favorite accounts that I follow on my personal account is a woman who shares a lot of women's music, women's poetry. Yes, I'm seeing in the chat, yes, Elaine Hutton, it's important and it's powerful to be able to laugh. We also, every Spinster anniversary, every month we have cake. It's a community. So what are our hopes and our plans for the future? When we changed our name in January, we had to start from scratch, and we lost over 500 followers. So apart from seeing more users on Spinster as a whole, I would like to double our followers by the end of the year. It would be very helpful if there was also another volunteer, because so much is happening all over the world and there's so much content to go through, and which would be useful for other women that we could share more if we had someone else. Something else that I would like to see, but not coming from us, I mean coming from the technical side, would be the possibility to schedule posts. But most importantly, I hope that we can make better use of women-centric resources. We are so conditioned socially to use mainstream resources, whether it's a social media platform like Spinster or a news site, or, you know, instead of buying from a woman-owned business, we go to the more popular businesses, when we could be creating more initiatives like Spinster and making more use of them and supporting and investing in us, investing in women. So I hope that Spinster can be an example of that and lead to more of it. Spinster isn't perfect. Some features, like for example, the search engine needs refining, and it's a small site. But I think the antidote to that is not to give up on it, rather it's to be there more and invite our friends and make better use of it and make it better, make it what we think it can become. And even though some of us, maybe we don't recognize the potential it has, if it's, MRAs do recognize this potential, because they've managed to get the Spinster app banned from the Google store. So they've made it harder to access. And there have been also some nonsensical articles criticizing it, because, you know, how dare women have something that prioritizes women instead of pandering to men. And I hope that Spinster can serve like an example of what we can do when we decide not to go with the status quo and to continue to be subversive. I would like to thank the women who share our posts and all those who support us. We've had, for example, women who use it and then share on Tumblr and on other sites. And also, if there's anyone who needs technical assistance, I'm sure there'll be someone. I would be willing to help, and there'll be others as well. If you just start an account and put a message in the, just share it, there'll be women who are willing to help you.